Tuesday, August 8th. And we had a good day yesterday. Here's the thing. The Dow is made up of 30 stocks. I posted in the Facebook group. I posted on Twitter. I posted the heat map of the Dow. Nobody looks at the heat map of the Dow. Everybody looks at the heat map of the S&P 500 because it's only 30 stocks. It is crazy that the Dow yesterday was up 1.16, while Apple was down 1.73%. QQQ was up 0.85, and SPY was up 0.87. If we look at this heat map, I mean, it is clear. Look, Apple down, Qualcomm down, Tesla down, and then a couple of other reds. Berkshire Hathaway, record high, all-time high, up 3%. Google up 2%, Amazon up, Nvidia up, J&J up. You can see healthcare was up. It was a very green day yesterday. Crazy. 10 out of 11 sectors closed green. Communication services, which is XLC, up 1.54%. That led the way. Utilities, XLU, they lagged. So you know who's upset about that? Walter, the old man with a blanket who's in his rocking chair at the old age home talking about the good old times. That's who invests in utilities. I mean, don't be Walter. Utilities are boring. Man, who wants a dividend? But essentially, I'll post this heat map in the newsletter. Subscribe to the newsletter because I'm not sure how many of my notes I'm going to get to. But what I do in the newsletter is that I basically post these notes. So if I don't get to something, it's in the notes. Here, BABA later this week. I don't think I talked enough about BABA yesterday. China import-export numbers were down and oil's getting hit, and we'll talk about that later. But this was yesterday's newsletter. dailystockpick.substack.com. Subscribe. It is free. The only paid content is the weekend newsletters. And the weekend newsletters are more educational, more kind of what I'm doing with my portfolio. If you're interested in that, you can pay. If you're not, the daily newsletter is completely free. There's nothing that I charge for on that newsletter. All of the scans that I do, all of the TrendSpider charts that I show, all of that stuff is in the newsletter, dailystockpick.substack.com. If you ever forget about when I mention any of my links, Linktree, linktr.ee/dailystockpick. It has everything here. You can subscribe to anything that you want to. You can get $20 off your phone bill through Visible. You can sign up for Webull right here, third link. You can get 25% off TrendSpider. Oh, by the way, TrendSpider, when you do sign up, you need to sign up for the elite level. I had a couple of people yesterday who signed up, and they signed up for the essentials level. The essential is just basic tools. So you can scroll down and see what you want. But the elite level, the key point for the elite level is what's called the strategy tester. Let me see, where is it? Strategy development, back testing depth. Oh, I guess you do get 3,000 candles on this one. Did they add that in? Maybe you do get the back testing. We'll take a look. This is the level that I have. This is the level that I suggest because you do get scans, max results per scanner, 100. You do get scanning time frame 1. You get chart analysis 4, simultaneous workspaces. I like simultaneous workspaces. Automatic anchoring, dark pool, crypto feed and Greer index. I use that. Federal Reserve economic data. I do use that. Social monitoring, retail investor, unusual options. I mean, I used unusual options on a car stock yesterday with a friend, and I said, it's a little overvalued. There was a bunch of dark options that were taken significantly higher, and I said that's probably just a hedge against a short position. Insider trading, you get all of that, analyst recommendation, trading times with alerts. You get 100 alerts, 30 days of alerts versus 14 days. I just think this elite level is better. If you want to get the essential level, I'm just not sure that you get the back testing on this one. If they added it and you do get the back testing, great. $27.20 per month. Just remember to sign up through this link because in order to get my welcome letter that has basically plug and play, you do have to sign up under my program. And the program is just simply you sign up under that link. It gives you the best offer possible. If 25% is the best offer, then 25% is the best offer. If for some reason they're doing a flash weekend sale of 50% off or something of that sort, you will get that even if you use my link. It will offer you the best offer. And then what you do once you sign up is you email me. And you email me at dailystockpick3@gmail.com. The email is right here on Linktree. Right there. In fact, maybe I'll just put a link in here, email me. But that's an email. And just email me the email address that you used to sign up for TrendSpider. I'll send you the letter. It's plug and play. So I did want to get that one out. Let's take a look at this. QQQ, the Nasdaq has fallen over 3% in a single week 28 other times. Last week, it fell over 3%. The next week, of these 28 times, the next week was green 57% of the time, which an average return of 1.49%. Here's the chart. I'll include this in the newsletter. Here's the chart where it fell 3 other times, and you averaged up. This is a weekly candle where it was down 3%. It's averaged up. 57% of the time, it's averaged up. So this is it. QQQ at 372 is what it triggered. Let's look at this one. Let's go to Q372. What's it trading at right now? 375. So my algorithm has you out of this one. If we look at the 65-minute algorithm, 65-minute algorithm got you in at 373. You're at 372 right now in pre-market. 372 right now in pre-market. So you're getting in there. Maybe you wind up positive. Maybe it's a strategy you want to take. But that was a chart given to me by TrendSpider. Let's take a look at some of the other results. Now remember, levered ETFs are a good way to play that type of thing. If you think QQQ is going up, why not get TQQQ? And if you want to play that strategy, TQQ is triple levered. Well, TQQ kind of trades in line with QQQ. It's just triple levered. So on the 65-minute, you have a buy-in at 41.74. Right now, it's trading at 41.20. My guess, at some point in time, we come and fill this gap at 43. The problem is you've run up so much in the past couple of months that 40 seems like a bit stretched to me. It's sitting right there at the 200-day on this 65-minute chart. 42.12 is the 200-day. So you might have some resistance getting up there. But if you think that you were going to be in one of those 58% of the time, it was up 57% of the time. It was up. Get TQQ. SPXL yesterday was up 2.75%. HIBL, which is a levered ETF, up 2.84 yesterday. FAS up 2.8% yesterday. UDOW was up 3.47. UVIXI lost 7.63%. SVIXI was up 2.56, and DRN was up 3.35. I will put all of those symbols in the newsletter if I went through them too fast. BRK.B, which is Berkshire Hathaway's B, it hit an all-time high yesterday. This was a buy at 360. You're trading at 362. Right now, it's at 359. So I do think that you have an opportunity to get into Berkshire. This one is a very, very good stock to be in. Mind you, on the 4-hour algorithm, July 3rd, 340 was the buy-in. Right now, you're at 359. He just does a good job of managing trades. So he trades things. Right now, he's buying a ton of Oxy. And he's buying it at 60, 62, 65. He's just buying a ton of it. Is oil going to go up? He thinks so. He buys Apple. We can talk about Apple because Apple was down another 2% yesterday, 1.73. Look at this. This got you out with a 20% gain in Apple. You have no confirmation in Apple. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon got you in at 142. You're trading at 140. Let's take a look at Google, GOOG. It's at 130. Got you in at 129. I tell you to buy this under 130. Meta at 314. It got you in at 316. You're still in. You're still in. I think anything between 300 and 310 is a great buy for Meta. I think you'll do fine. Netflix, mind you, Netflix is moving down in pre-market, but it started to move up again. It was hit 440 yesterday. It closed at 440.76. I like it. Nvidia is down slightly. This one is at 450. This got you out with a 2% gain. It doesn't have confirmation right now. I don't think you're doing it yourself a disfavor by buying it here. I really, really don't. And Tesla, part of the grade 8. This one, it has no confirmation. At some point in time, it will fill this gap at 280 up there. So I think you have opportunities in this market, but you've got to be patient. Uber, which I liked at 46, doesn't have confirmation. I'm going to add to it. It's at 44 in pre-market. I'm going to add to it. I think it's going to come down here to probably about 43. I'll only add to it when we have confirmation. Patience. In fact, I'll include this chart. Apple today. Apple's daily RSI closed in oversold territory below 30 for the first time in 14th time in the below 30 for the 14th time in the last decade, 10 years. If you bought that close and said sold approximately 1 month later, 21 candles, you would have 57% win rate, another 57% win rate, and a 3.77% gain. So maybe buy the dip here if you buy Apple today, because Apple right now, let's see, it's up 0.31 at 179. It's using that 200-day right there as a support level. So it went way far too fast, and I think you're going to be at 180 very soon, probably in the next 3 months. Remember, you've got iPhone 15, you've got Apple Vision Pro, you've got a potential car, you've got a ton of new chips, M3 chips that will revolutionize things. You got a lot of things coming out that are good. As far as energy goes, MPC and PXD. These have been big movers. MPC is Marathon Petroleum. This is a petroleum. You're still in this trade from 109. You're at 139. That's an oil producer right there. It is a bit oversold. You've got your ex-dividend date coming up on August 15th. I like that one. PXD. I think this is a $250 stock. It rolled over a little bit. It's down 1.53% today. It's at 232. I don't think you're doing yourself any disfavor by buying it at 232. Its ex-dividend date is September 5th. So I think there's opportunities there. BG, a grain company. This is probably going up because of the war in Ukraine extending. Excuse me. $94 buy. You're at 115 right now. That's about a month ago, July 5th, in a grain company. So there are opportunities out here. A good example of what's not participating in this rally, Hershey's. Consumer discretionary is just not doing very well. And I think Tesla is included in that post kind of hitting a high. But look at Hershey's right here. I mean, it hit 275. You're at 228 right now, below the 200-day. If we look at a long term, Hershey's ran up. You broke the 50-day. You don't have too many other volume shelves to go until you hit that 200-day down here at 166. Might not be crazy to think that it pulls back that much. Next week, I think what's important in the agricultural space, Deere reports. And they report on August 17th. Here you can see we just got out with a 19% gain in Deere. This is a huge company, and you got a 19% gain. It's running into earnings. You can see here we might have had a double top around 450. You're at 431. Maybe take a little bit off if you're in Deere, but heading into earnings, I think it's going to go. Boeing. I've talked about Boeing here. I've got a nice position in Boeing. Bought under 200 a couple months ago. I think you're 238. You got confirmation. This buy here at 214 before earnings, great buy. You're up at least 10%. Here's a good note. With about 84% of the S&P companies reporting through last week, second quarter earnings are down 4.2% year over year. But they beat expectations by 7.7%. Expectations have clearly been managed well by executives this year. Now the question remains, are future expectations conservative enough to keep the rally going? That's a key point. Remember, last year was a huge, hey, consumers back, we're doing well. It's hard to beat year over year based on that really good year. So what executives did was take it down. And this year, you're down 4.2% from year over year. But you're beating expectations. The executives brought the expectations down. That's what's fueled this rally. So let's talk about some earnings. Skyworks. This is a kind of a an Apple kind of chip company, I think. They reported earnings. Let me see my notes. They beat by a good amount, but they pulled back. It's just that while earnings are good, they aren't good enough to justify the run. Look at the run from $95 back right after the last earnings, $95. They went all the way up to $115. Again, expectations. Paramount beat on the top and bottom line. Initial reaction was good, but it pulled back. Let's see. Paramount is, we're going to try close these two. Paramount is up 2%. It was a beat of 10 cents per share. Subs were in line. The big news was that KKR is going to buy the Simon & Schuster publishing from Paramount, which gives Paramount cash. That's the big thing, is they needed cash. So they sold their publishing. Palantir. This one in my mind is a buy. I've held through earnings. I didn't expect it to go down. I did expect it to go up. It is down 2% in pre-market. It closed at $17.99. I do think this is at least a $20 stock. Zip Trader Charlie did an entire video last night on how he thinks it will 10 times. Take his assumptions with a grain of salt. Seriously. It was down 8% initially when they were announced. The company it wants to be in the S&P. And essentially, Alex Karp, who's their CEO, said, I want to be in the S&P. If that happens, this is a $30 stock. It was their third profitable quarter in a row, outside growth in all sectors. So typically, this is an AI company that is thought of in the government space, in the war space. They broaden demand. They said their AI is the top in their field. Most other sectors other than government growing, and they have demand in many other sectors. That's huge. The dip of 8% was definitely a buy. The dip today of 2%, definitely a buy. They announced a $1 billion buyback. So they'll be buying stock back as well. Now, on to a company that I think has no chance. Lucid. This is a company that basically is producing $120,000, $130,000 cars with no incentives from the government. Weaker than expected results, loss of 40 cents. Street expected a loss of 33 cents. Revenue was lower. Guidance for full year remained. They said they will produce 10,000 units this year. I don't believe them. They believe they have enough liquidity to last, so no capital is needed. After hours, it went up 6%. Looks like it's just at 641 right now. Kind of came back down. But I just don't. The only chance this has of getting back to $10 is if the Saudis buy it. I just don't believe them. But let's talk about this one, CHGG. This one's huge, and I think this is an opportunity. The opportunity on this one, I think, comes back to this gap. You see this gap? It's from the last earnings. It was from, let's see, May 1st. The gap is between 11.18 and 17.24. Right now in pre-market, you're at 12.80, which starts to cover this gap. It gets to that 200-day, and it's above that 200-day. I think above that 200-day, you come back to at least a $17 stock. That would put you back in line with the previous earnings. The previous earnings were 27 cents per share. This was 28. If they get back to 40 cents per share, you are back up here at a $21 stock. The problem was they said ChatGPT had funneled into their business. Now they said we're using AI. We understand our consumers better, and our consumers are using our learning platform along with ChatGPT, and we're integrating AI into our business. That's all it took. Yeah, they got it down. You could have gotten this at about $9. It's $12 right now, $13.15. As we head in, it's even going up. So Chegg, now they're saying they have insight into Chegg. Let's see. They have much better insight to their customers. Revenue is higher, and hope that at $12 a share, they will continue to grow. So I think it's going to cover that gap. Beyond Meat, they reported. The problem is, we talked about Tyson yesterday. Beyond Meat's just expensive, and people don't want to spend money on a fake protein, and I don't say fake, plant-based protein, versus buying the regular protein. You can buy chicken, you can buy other stuff. It's just cheap. But Beyond Meat's expensive. They are down 18%. I would continue to stay away from that one. Let's talk about NVIDIA. May have a buy signal soon on the 4-hour. It triggered on the 65-minute. We went over this at the beginning when I went over the grade 8. NVIDIA on the 4-hour, here's the 4-hour. That was the previous support level at 372. I think you've got a new support level at about 420. Take a puff. You've got their earnings coming up August 23rd. They have an October event. They're going to have to blow away earnings again to justify this jump. This jump from 300 up to 400 was just a record quarter. Look at that, $1.09. Are they going to continue it? I think so. I bought at 460. I think it's a $500 stock. Take a look at the long term. If we go back here, I'm going to take these, remove all annotations. I put that, I think, in a newsletter. You're at all-time highs. Look at that, 355 right there was the previous high that it dipped down to. You could have gotten this at a $100 mark back in October. It used that, but your 50 days going positive. You still have confirmation. The earnings are what's going to have to be huge for this one. I think they will be. Upstart. Let's talk about Upstart. This is a loan business based on AI. You would think this would be doing really well. I think it's coming back down to this probably gap down here at 14. Here's what Morgan Stanley urged investors to get out with the recent rally. Look at that rally. I mean, May, you're at 13. All of a sudden, you're at 71 in Upstart. 71. Almost 4 times in what, 3 months? So Morgan Stanley said, hey, get out. The reason they said get out, Upstart's peers, Lending Tree and Lending Club, LC and TREE, both reported disappointing earnings results last month and indicated that the market for consumer loans continues to shrink as interest rates rise and banking partners pull back demand. So their earnings came out. Did they report? I think it's today after the bell. Yeah, it's today after the bell. Don't buy. Just don't buy. I mean, this dip is not worth the buy into this business. If they report some type of disappointment, it's coming back down to 30. You can get this one lower. I don't think a big bank like Morgan Stanley urges people to get out without some type of insight into that business. Tesla, yesterday their CFO left. Seems like it was voluntarily. Might have been a force out by Elon. That's the real question. There's rumors going around. Is he kind of getting rid of people? Has he driven people out? Was this CFO just sick of his social stance with his Twitter kind of purchase and stuff? Nobody knows. The guy was there for 13 years. I think it's just he became a very, very rich man. And if you know anybody that works for Tesla, or if you yourself work for Tesla, you are not listening to this podcast, by the way, if you work for Tesla. But if you do, you know it's stressful. And for 13 years being in a leadership role, he went through the whole, hey, we're going to go bankrupt. Elon sleeping on the factory floor. I bet you this guy was sleeping on the factory floor as well, traveling all over the world trying to get funding. Yeah, that's a stressful job. So I don't think there's anything to it. Right now, you don't have any confirmation to get into this one. I would wait. Look at it down here at 240. I think the closest gap that we see is down here at 235 and 241. I'm waiting for it to either fill that gap or get some confirmation before I buy in. But I do think this is a $300 stock at some point in time this year. I think he announces full self-driving is better than humans. I think he announces that it might come out of beta. I think the Cybertruck may get some pretty big pre-order kind of things. So I think there's a lot left on the table on this one. Even the Model 2, which they started buying land in Mexico for a new factory. The rumor is that's going to be the low-cost Model 2. And remember, every other EV manufacturer is currently losing money because they have to sell their EVs so low because Tesla's cutting prices. Meanwhile, Tesla's cutting prices. They're only cutting into their margins. So there's the chance that maybe they offer self-driving for less money, like a weekend sale or something. You can turn it on this weekend for $10,000 instead of $15,000. Boom. All of a sudden they get a bunch of $10,000 orders. You know, they can do that to their cars because it's over-the-air updates. I'm going to include Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The big earnings. Baba's coming up. Roblox coming up. Tomorrow, Disney is coming up. The trading desk is coming up. Today, Twilio, Upstart, Axon, MQ, UPS. UPS did, by the way, I'll bring up UPS in a little bit. Datadog already reported. So we'll look at those. And by the way, you think U.S. taxes are bad? Italy just put a windfall tax on their banks, 40%. So it will never happen here in the U.S., but if a bank makes a profit, they're paying 40% tax. They view it as a utility. Moody's cut the rating of several small to mid-sized banks. I want you to remember FAZ. FAZ is a financial bear 3 times. This one is up 5% to $17. There's a little gap up here at 18, but I think this one has some legs with that downgrade. If we're going to see continued downgrades, I think you'll see that one go up. There's 2 stocks, Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. They're up huge on weight loss stuff. Eli Lilly reported their quarter huge. It is up 14% today. Just an enormous beat, an enormous opportunity with the weight loss drug. Novo Nordisk, NVO, this one is up 14% as well. They announced that their weight loss drug reduces the risk of heart disease by 20% in a study. So it's not just, hey, we're going to reduce the risk of heart disease. We performed a study and it's down 20%. So good news. UPS announced they delayed their earnings by 2 weeks. And they said it was so that they could negotiate the Teamsters deal. Well, take a look. It almost covered the gap from last earnings. And that was 195 down to 183. And then it kind of just got stopped out. It didn't cover it completely. So you still have that. You're trading down today 2% at 178. I mean, the earnings weren't great. They're still gonna have to pay the union a lot. It's an ugly chart. For all you degenerates out there, AMC, they actually made a profit. kudos to Adam Aaron. It is up 2.93% to 529. Look at this. The algorithm got you in at 436 down here. Yeah, if you're at 436 and you're suddenly at 529, you're doing pretty well. There's a gap here to 575. I don't know if that covers. Again, this is a company I wouldn't invest in long time, but you could trade it. The volatility is pretty good. I want to show you this video. And I'll put this in with the newsletter. This stock VTGN yesterday, 3,000%. And Warrior Trading goes over a fantastic anatomy of this trade. See how it's trading around $1.70 yesterday? And it got all the way up to $24. And he traded it. Again, you can find this volatility. You can find these in pre-movers. He found it. He traded it yesterday. Great trade. I'll put that in the newsletter too so you can watch it. Tilray. This is a marijuana company. I don't suggest you invest in marijuana companies. And the reason is this. I mean, it just slid from $37. It's $2.70. It got all the way down to $1.66. $1.53 it looks like was the low. But Tilray announced, and they are on a buying spree. They're buying a bunch of microbreweries. So they're actually getting out of the marijuana. No, well, I shouldn't say that. They're moving into the alcohol business and basically adding on a business, another income stream to their marijuana business. The marijuana business has been tough. Margins are extremely small. Taxes are incredible. Regulation is just super high. They're buying a bunch of AB Bev microbrewery stuff. They're expanding outside of marijuana. I don't know that you necessarily get into this. I like this gap down here at $1.74 more. I think it comes back down here. I think anything under $2, I think you buy it because I think it's going to pop. I think with the move into alcohol, when marijuana actually becomes legal, it makes it so much easier for these guys to have some pot drinks and to have some pot things that just, other pot companies just couldn't do on scale. So let's talk about some cross-ups. Oxy. I don't know that I'd necessarily buy this one. This one's down 1.96% to 62. It has a secondary cross-up here. The MACD crossed up. Oil's going down because of China. We talked about this. $60 is, I had this line in here as kind of the resistance level, and you can see a couple days ago, August 4th, it hit up there. It bounced off it. It's just constant resistance up here at about $64. And right now you're at 62. I think you can get it under 60, but I did bring that up. XLY, which is consumer discretionary. We talked about how this is kind of weak. Has a cross up here at 172. I don't know that I necessarily buy it. It just hasn't participated in the rally in July. Look at that. You went from July, the second half of July, and you've continually moved down. I don't know that I'd necessarily buy it here. I think you'll have a better price. I'm just seeing some weakness in the consumer discretionary. Merck, which is healthcare. I like Merck. I think this one's been beaten down. It's at 105. The 200-day is at 110. I think it's a good company. I think it's a good company with good products, good earnings. They are already announced. They lost $2.06 per share. It was a write-down. I don't think that this one's going to stay down here. I think if you get this one under 100, it's great. The actual algorithm says 105 is the buy. You're trading at 108 right now. Shell, another oil company, has a buy, SHEL. This one has a cross-up at 61.44. The algorithm doesn't do as well as just buy and hold. Buy and hold gets you 48% over 24 months, 2 years. The algorithm actually only makes you 6.3%. So you're not actually taking advantage of all the upside. So I think oil's just, find your favorite company and buy it. Nike, this one's interesting because this one has been beaten down tremendously. And you've been just kind of hovering here at about 110. The 200 days in the negative turn, the 50 days in the negative. The 9 and the 21 haven't completely turned around. The RSI is still a little high. I don't know that I'd take it, but keep an eye on it. CSGP. This is an interesting one. I didn't know what they did, but it's basically a commercial real estate company. It's got something to do with commercial real estate. It's been beaten down to 81. The price target, if you go over to FinViz, and you can do your own research on this, but CHGP CoStar Group, it's got a $33 billion. It's on the Nasdaq and the NDX and the S&P 500, but its average price target is 97. So it's about $100. That bit old because you can see most of it's 2022. So 2023, there's talk of a commercial real estate crash, but I think this one comes back to this gap at about 88, and it's got a $100 price target. Might be worth a little bit of look. And finally, MasterCard, MA. It's got a $396 buy. It's trading at $392. So it's down about 1% today. Market is down. It's hurting. Let's see. The Dow is down 0.92. The Nasdaq is down 0.93, and the S&P is down 0.73. The VIX is up 8.62%. Let's look at UVIXY, because UVIXY was way down yesterday. UVIXY 1758, and you're trading at 19. It is up 9.03% today. Crazy. The only two stocks that are up in the core portfolio, and they're not up by much, is Coke and Merck. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry. Walmart is up too. So it's a hurt day. If you have any questions, again, you can go to Linktree, sign up for any of my stuff. The big thing is the newsletter, because I think the newsletter does get you a very good outlook on the market. It comes in about noontime is when I send it. It's got all my notes. It's not too late for the day. Remember, I'm more of a swing trader rather than a day trader. I give you some day trading ideas, but by 8:30, 9 o'clock, your day trading stuff, your volatility is already there. If you guys haven't found stuff to trade by 8:30, 9 o'clock, there's no way somebody's going to tell you at 9 o'clock, oh, here's the stock to trade, and you have enough time to do it. So sign up for the newsletter. If you want TrendSpider, 25% off. You can get TrendSpider. Those are all these charts that you see here. I actually love it. I use it for alerts. I use it for my watch list. I use it for scanners. I use it for my algorithm, which I give you. But if you have any questions, you can hit me up on any of these socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also email me over here if you don't have socials. All the podcast stuff. If you want to tip me, if you guys have made money in July and you want to send me a tip, down here, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, whatever you want. It says gift me for IRS purposes because it's a gift. It's not a tip. So it's a gift. Follow me on Savvy Traders. Savvy Traders is completely free. One of the things that I tell you guys to do is to journal your trades. I journal my trades here. I'd say why I got in, why I got out. So this trading portfolio over the last 30 days is down 0.45. The core portfolio is 100 stocks. It's an equal weighted index. 100 stocks of the core portfolio. Over 30 days, you're up 3%. Not a bad gig. The problem is 100 shares of each stock is $643,000. A lot of people don't have $643,000 to put into an equal weighted stock index. But this is just, hey, if you want 35 stocks, how many is it? 36 stocks. The only reason it's 36 is I have Moderna in here as a trading stock. Do not buy 100 shares of Moderna. It is not worth it right now. It is 100% a hype stock. But I have all these 100 shares of these stocks. This is a great way for you to look at, hey, what's a good stock for me in a decent portfolio? I like this portfolio. In fact, most of these stocks I currently own. Not all of them. Like I don't own Goldman Sachs. Let's see. I don't own Taiwan Semi. I don't own, even though I want to get into it under 100. What don't I own? Let me see. I own most of these. Pepsi, I do own. Coke, I do own. Merck, I don't own Merck, but with the recent drop, I might get into Merck, to be honest. Roblox, I don't own. So there's 3 stocks that I don't own of the 30. I try and keep to about 30 stocks to manage for myself, but this core portfolio, great to follow. Doesn't have many trades. The trading portfolio doesn't have a ton of trades, but when I do trade, you'll get an email for free, 100% for free. I'm not charging for any of this stuff. The only thing I charge for, that I charge for personally, is the Daily Stock Pick newsletter weekend edition. That's it. It's $8 a month or $80 a year. If you signed up last month, it was $7 per month, $70 per year. Those prices do not go up for current subscribers. As I raise prices, you will not go up. The reason I'm raising prices is because you have more of a archive to go through. So if you have any questions, hit me up on the socials. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Oh, I may be on tomorrow, maybe not. I may drive back to Atlanta tonight. So keep an eye out on the socials. I'll try and alert you if I'm not going to do a podcast. You'll still have a newsletter. It just may be delayed. Maybe you won't get it. But again, that's the free newsletter, not the paid one. So, okay, have a great day. Good luck in trading. Today's going to be a hard market. Take care. Bye-bye.